What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about Tony Dungy possibly being the next Atlanta Falcons GM. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate you guys continuing to tune in. We are on the road to 1K for subscribers. Y'all continue to hit that like button, that subscribe button. Y'all continue to share out this content. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. But I appreciate you guys continuing to support the channel. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So I actually got a great comment from one of my subscribers asking what I think about Tony Dungy being the next GM of the Atlanta Falcons. Actually, I love Tony Dungy. I think Tony Dungy would make a great GM for our Atlanta Falcons. He is a defensive-minded coach. When he coached in the league, Tony Dungy also was an NFL player. A lot of people don't realize that Tony Dungy actually played safety in the NFL. Then he became a coach later on in his career. He did coach the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he did help Rich McKay turned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization around. He was there when they had Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, Simeon Rice, John Lynch, and all those guys, Rondé Barber. He was one of those guys, one of those coaches that helped turn that organization around. It actually was his roster that was built, that John Gruden came in after Tony Dungy was fired by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And John Gruden took Tony Dungy's team to the Super Bowl. Pretty much that was a team that Tony Dungy turned around, and he helped structure that team, kind of like Mark Jackson with the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. Mark Jackson was the coach that helped build the foundation for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and then Steve Kerr came over when Mark Jackson was fired and took over the Golden State Warriors, that head coaching position, and he was able to reap the benefits of the ground, the foundation that was laid by Coach Mark Jackson with the Golden State Warriors. So a similar type deal with Tony Dungy. He laid the foundation for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to become a winning organization when he was there. And then he went on to coach the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning. And I was actually looking at Tony Dungy's numbers, and his numbers are staggering. I just went and looked at his numbers as far as his record as a head coach. He had over like a 68% win percentage rate. He was a great head coach. He did get into the Hall of Fame as a coach. He was the first African-American head coach to win a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison and those guys, Reggie Wayne, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis. He helped coach that team. Bob Sanders, he was there and helped turn that Colts organization around as well. He was there to help structure that defense and help Peyton Manning get over the hump, defeating the Patriots, who was their arch nemesis. So I was looking at Tony Dungy's record as a head coach, and when he was coaching the Indianapolis Colts, he never won less than double-digit games. He always won 10 or more games when he was coaching the Indianapolis Colts, which is a huge deal. When he was with Tampa Bay, I believe his worst record was 6-10, and that was his first year as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So even when he was coaching the Buccaneers, he had a winning record every season other than his first season there. And with the Colts, he had double-digit wins in every single season that he was with the Indianapolis Colts. So I definitely think he's somebody that knows how to build a defense and build a team. I do think he would be a great GM for the Atlanta Falcons. As you see with the 49ers, they hired John Lynch, one of Tony Dungy's former players, his strong safety from that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, to be their GM a couple years ago. And he was there to help build that defense. That great defense that the San Francisco 49ers have. John Lynch, who also is a Hall of Fame safety, he was able to help build a dynasty or a great defensive team over there in San Fran. So I definitely think Tony Dungy would be a great choice for the Falcons' next GM. The thing about it is, will he want to leave his current job? I went and looked up how old Tony Dungy is. He's actually 65 years young, but I'm not too sure if he wants to leave his current job with NBC as the Sunday Night Football, one of the hosts for Sunday Night Football. He does have a really good gig. I'm pretty sure they pay him very good money to do that Sunday Night Football spot that he does every Sunday night with him and Rodney Harrison. I don't really think that he wants to step away from the media because he makes he makes great money. I don't think people realize how much work you have to put in when you're a GM or you're a head coach. Those guys put in, they work morning, noon, and night. Even when you're in the media, you work a lot too. Not saying that he doesn't work a lot doing Sunday Night Football, but it's not the same as working around the clock, scouting players. When you're the GM, you have a lot of different hats you have to wear. You have to make sure the salary cap is good. You have to balance out the books and things of that nature with the salary cap. You have to always be scouting players for the draft. You have to be meeting with head coaches and meeting with assistant coaches on the regular, meeting with the owner, Arthur Blank. And I don't know if he wants that type of responsibility now that he's kind of been out of coaching and out of that realm for many years now. I don't really think that Tony Dungy would want to come back and be a GM or be a head coach of a team. If he does, if I was the Falcons, I definitely would give him a call. Him and Rich McKay do have a relationship because Rich McKay was in Tampa Bay with Tony Dungy, as I mentioned. So they do have a relationship, and I definitely think that they should give Tony Dungy a call and see if Tony Dungy would be interested in being the GM or the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Personally, I don't think that he wants, to leave that media, that spot that he has on Sunday Night Football. I'm pretty sure they pay him really well. I was really surprised to see John Gruden, for example, leave Monday Night Football. If you remember a couple years ago, John Gruden was actually doing Monday Night Football, and he was making very good money doing that. But I really believe the only reason John Gruden stepped out of the booth and went back into head coaching is because the Oakland Raiders, the then Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, pretty much gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. And John Gruden, they actually paid John Gruden. They gave him a contract of $100 million with a 10-year contract. And they also gave him pretty much complete control over the team, complete control over the roster, the 53-man roster. And I really believe that was the only reason why John Gruden left that Monday Night Football spot that he had, because he was making very good money doing that. So I really was surprised to even see him step away. I really think he wouldn't have stepped away for any other team unless they were offering all of those demands that he had, that $100 million contract, that long 10-year contract where he had, where pretty much he has a $100 million guaranteed contract for 10 years. And pretty much he has one of the best jobs in the NFL. I definitely believe that he's the highest paid head coach. So that's the only chance I see of Tony Dungy possibly stepping away from his Sunday Night Football gig and coming back, either being the GM of the Falcons or being a head coach of the Falcons. But a lot of these guys that are Hall of Fame coaches are great coaches, like Bill Cowher, who now does he works for CBS and does broadcasting for CBS. A lot of these guys, once they leave the coaching realm, it's really rare to see guys come out of the coaching realm and go back into coaching after leaving, especially if it's been over like 5 or 6 years. Usually those guys, once they, leave the coaching field and go into media, usually they stick with media and broadcasting because it just takes less out of you. It's really a strain for coaches. They work morning, noon, and night coming up with game plans, coming up with practice schedules, traveling and things of that nature. It's a lot of different things that come with being a head coach, and you basically are working around the clock. Pretty much the same type deal when you're the GM of a team. You're constantly working around the clock. So I really don't think that Tony Dungy is interested in leaving his current gig, like I said, with Sunday Night Football, if he did step away and decide to be the GM of the Falcons, I think he would be an excellent candidate. He has also a relationship with Coach Raheem Morris as well, who's here because he was in Tampa. They have a relationship as well. So I definitely think if we keep Raheem Morris as the head coach and brung in Tony Dungy, I think those guys could work hand in hand if Raheem Morris is considered for the head coaching position. I do think that him and Tony Dungy would make a great pairing because Tony Dungy is a defensive-minded type of coach, and Raheem Morris cut his teeth in the NFL as a secondaries coach. So he's defensive-minded as well. So I definitely think that Tony Dungy would make a great GM. I do want to thank my subscriber, for all my subscribers, but definitely the subscriber who left a comment about Tony Dungy possibly being the next GM. I think that he could possibly be a great GM for our team and our organization. Tony Dungy is a great man of integrity. If you remember when Michael Vick went to prison, Tony Dungy was one of those guys that helped rehabilitate Mike Vick. He went and visited Mike Vick. I believe they said like weekly he would go visit Mike Vick. And he was one of the main reasons why Mike Vick was able to get back into the NFL because Tony Dungy, has connections in the NFL. He made calls and things of that nature. He helped mentor Michael Vick and get Michael Vick back on the right path. So I definitely think Tony Dungy is not only was he a great player, a great coach, but also he's a great leader. So I definitely think that he could bring some of those leadership skills to the Atlanta Falcons. I definitely think that he deserves a front office job if he wants to take it. I just feel like at this point in his career, he possibly just wants to stay in the booth, stay in the media at this point and continue to do his broadcasting because it's just less strain, especially when you get up there in age. A lot of times guys don't want to, go back into the field of coaching and being a GM and all of that because, like I said, you're working around the clock, morning, noon, and night. But you guys let me know what you think about Tony Dungy possibly being the Atlanta Falcons' next GM. I would love to have Tony Dungy here in Atlanta to be the next GM of our team. And I definitely, if I was Rich McKay and Arthur Blank, I definitely would, make that call and see if Tony Dungy is willing to come out of retirement and, decide to come back into either the coaching ranks or the GM, being the GM of the Atlanta Falcons. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of the video. Do you think we should consider Tony Dungy for the GM position or maybe the head coaching position? I definitely think that whatever Tony Dungy wants to do, whether it's to be a head coach again or whether it's to be the GM of our Falcons, I definitely would love to have him in Atlanta. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. I'm going to holler at you guys in the next video. And you guys know the vibes. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Definitely leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about Tony Dungy possibly being the next GM. And definitely leave any comments below of any questions you may have. It may be a video that you want me to do. Definitely leave your comments below. I'll be happy to go and look and do some research on whatever your question you may have or whatever video you might like me to do. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. You guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Y'all continue to hit up my channel. I'm going to continue to have content coming for you guys. I appreciate you guys. Peace and love. And I'll holler at you guys. Deuces.